Hey everyone, it is a Thursday, of course, and we are here again in the studio. It's the Conversation Outspoken Opinionated. Of course, I am your host, Edwin Maya. If you aren't following us, we're asking you to go to Facebook, the Conversation Outspoken Opinionated. Of course, on Instagram, Outspoken Opinionated Podcast, and also you can catch us on Spotify, the Conversation Outspoken Opinionated, and on Apple Podcasts, the Conversation Outspoken Opinionated. So, today we have in the studio one of the movers and shakers of the DMV, someone who events. If you've never been to an event in DC or in Maryland or the VA, then you probably haven't heard about this gentleman. But today we have Nels Cephas here with us today. He is the founder, or he can correct me, but he's one of the founders of DC Now Events. It is a platform that shares events all over the DMV area. And so he's going to be here to talk to us about the journey, how he started this thing, how is it going, how has it been, how many free tickets I can get to go to events. I got to add that in there. He just thought he was going to sit here and be here forever and be here for free, but how many free tickets I can get and all that good stuff. But hey, welcome to the conversation, sir.
Thank you for having me. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Feeling good, looking fly. Can't complain.
Okay, you see, I told you. So he's looking good. He's fly. I mean, it's a good day. It's a great Thursday here in Bethesda, Maryland. Of course, that's where our podcast is. And so I just want to talk to you about DC Now events. But before we start, I want to ask you, how are you doing?
I've been good. Staying focused, and just taking it one day at a time.
One day at a time. When you say taking it one day at a time, what does that mean?
Being aware of my mental health. Making sure my body is rested, and just being able to just be that beacon of the community.
Awesome. So COVID happened. We were locked up for what, 2 years?
Yes.
Well, 2 years. And so I know what you do include people. People have to be there for you to do what you do.
Correct.
So how were you able to jump over that hurdle, and now you are at the place where you're taking one day at a time?
I think just coming from my background of being of used to working in the event industry from a nightlife standpoint, one thing that we always learn is always be prepared at any given time. So one way that we was able to pivot very quick within few seconds when COVID-19 came into play, and it was going to phase one, we pivoted where we started focusing on event planners, event curators who was doing virtual events. And you may not be doing experiential.
Microphone is off.
Oh, microphone.
Go ahead. You're good, sir.
You may not be doing a experiential event on site doing phase one. However, you still want people to know about your online event. So once we realized that, we started to focus more so on finding events that people wanted to learn more about from an online standpoint. And from that, the pandemic, just being thankful the pandemic did not affect us, not one bit, because we was able to think out the box. We had systems and plans already in place 6 months, a year prior.
Wow.
So all we did was just went back into our Rolodex of structure and strategies, and we just implemented at a faster rate.
So I wanted to take us back to basically when the whole vision started. So can you walk us through the process? Why DC Now events? What was this? What happened?
I started working in the nightlife business back in 2006. I want to give a big shout out.
So I won't stop him right there, because he's trying to be real professional. He started working in nightlife. What were you, a stripper?
No. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, because if you don't want to define nightlife and you want people to assume.
I used to work in a nightclub business.
Oh, okay.
Promoting clubs as a club promoter.
Oh, okay.
So I was not stripping or anything.
I just thought he was Magic Mike or something. I don't know.
No,
man. People be out here in the streets.
Nah.
Okay.
But at that time when I started, a lot of the events that you all see happen from an experiential standpoint, like the festival, these artsy, eclectic events, a good amount of those events was happening back in 2006. The problem that I started to realize was that just from working in the nightlife business, you make so many friends from an associate, from people who may want something from you, and so forth. And these individuals started inviting me to a lot of different events outside the nightclub. Like, yo, bro, Nels, I love this event you guys doing. That was when I was doing 18 and up club promotion.
Okay.
So I made so many friends, and I started realizing when these individuals would invite me to a lot of these different events that was not nightlife, majority of the individuals that was going to these different RC collective events was non-black. Um, so then I kept seeing the pattern over and over. I said, okay, so it dawned on me by 2008. I started realizing that when it came to going out, black event goers was only regulated for the most part to nightlife, because
Mm.
a lot of these events that was taking place, different platforms that was big out here, they will only market it and push these different unique, fun-filled, eclectic events to a certain group. And because I was fortunate enough to get invited to a lot of those different events outside of the nightlife events, I started realizing, I said, oh, so I see the pattern where when it comes to going out to do stuff, they only regulate us to nightclubs. I'm a young black dude at that time. I like to do fun stuff. uh, Females that I went on date with, they like to do fun stuff that was non clubs.
Mhm.
So the idea really sparked from a racial standpoint, and then I compiled that with my years of experience and just understanding, like the grassroots part of things, focusing on like the community outreach and just being able to bring value to everybody as a whole. But first, I want to focus on the black event goers who these different functions that's for families, couples, kids. We are not being exposed, and these events are not being placed in the forefront. It was only just nightclubs. So that's where the actual passion idea came from.
Awesome, and I think that's amazing. I think because a lot of times people underestimate the black dollars
Mhm.
or the black what I would say the black wave. How many people will come out if you do have an event that is really catered towards black culture or black excellence, whatever it is when it relating to us as black people. Most often because if you say '06 and '07, I would say back then events that was going on at festivals was really not catered towards us.
Mhm.
It was for sorry the Caucasians and the other people. It was not really for black people,
Right.
or we were not. Maybe I should put it this way. Maybe were we not used to going to day stuff like festivals and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Because when I look at like my older cousins who are older than me, I don't think they went to festivals. I think they always went to the club.
Yeah.
They slept all day and then at night they went out.
Yeah.
And so when you started to open this, when you started DC Now event, how were you able to bridge the gap? Because now you have not only black people, you have everybody participating.
Yeah. So what's very interesting, the idea of decent events didn't come into play until like 2014,
Mm.
2013. It was a rough vision. It literally just randomly came to my head as far as like the idea, but the 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 reason that led to 2014, 2013
Mhm.
was more so from like the racial aspect.
Uh,
But by 2008, this when I was fully deep into the nightclub business. Me and my business partner, shout out to my boy Dowda. He's a mentor to me. He put me onto everything that I learned as it pertains to like the nightlife business as a whole. But by 2008, an idea came to my mind prior to DC Night events where I wanted to create a brochure itinerary that would have made it easy for nightclub goers 18, 19, 20, because that was the age group I was in at that time. And that was the
mhm.
party audience that we was focusing on. So I created, I didn't even create it. I sketched out the draft, the concept of a brochure itinerary where our party would have been at the top, our promotion company, because at that time we have already been had established ourselves as like a elite promotion company at the time. So our promotion company team would have been our events would have been the top, and then every other party promotion events in the area. The college kids from Bowie, all the colleges in the DMV, they would have had that brochure as an itinerary go to the fine events. So
Oh.
that was like the idea prior to DC Now, but I never follow up with it. I was so busy with so many events happening throughout the week, from the nightlife standpoint that I never got the opportunity to apply it. Fast forward 2013, the idea of the DC Now came to mind, um, and I just had to figure out how can I package it and structure it where it's still letting our people know about what's happening in their backyard, and
Mhm.
where they can still feel like a tourist at the same time, but also branded and marketed to everybody, all groups of life, and so forth. So one thing I started to focus on was the name DC. When you leave the DMV, you can go to Miami, you can go to Canada, you can go to Alabama, wherever. People don't know about PG County. People don't know about Montgomery County. People don't know about Southwest, Southeast. They just know the nation's capital, DC. So I
DC,
said,
yeah.
okay, if I'm going to name this company to reach people in a mass, first thing I'm going to name it is DC, because when people think of the area, they think it's synonymous with DC. Um, the now part now came into play. I took a communication course when I was in college, and one thing that I learned when newspaper first came out back in like the 50s, 60s, one of the main call to action that they really used to implement was they wanted you to take action now. I don't know if you remember those black and white commercials of the news, like it's happening now, or like
Yeah.
or like Batman and Superman when back in the days in like the 60s, 70s, and all that. It was in black and white. Whenever they would do like the newspaper paper and all that, they will always say it's happening now. So the now is more so where I want people to take action at the very point of time, and then the events is not more so from from a turn up standpoint. It's more so from a experiential experience, from a memory. Because whenever you take part in any type of event, rather if you're going to a museum, if you're taking your kids or your family to watch the fireworks, those are moments that you want to cherish. And when people go to different type of events, you can cross path with the love of your life. You can cross path from a big business business opportunity
Yeah.
that could come into play. You could cross path with great individuals like yourself, who you will give other people that opportunity to take part onto your podcast. So the events was more so focusing on the value that you will get when you land on our platform across all boards.
Wow. If this was a pitch, you don't get all the money because you took us down an entire journey. You have research, you have everything that come in place. Most often, what I have experienced, because I have done a couple of events in this area, you have these promoters
Mhm.
who have an agenda.
Correct.
They have an agenda, and the agenda is financial.
Mm.
Now, you want to plan an event where your event is more focused on bringing awareness to something or starting something where you can bring people with like mind together.
Yeah.
But then you have a promoter who will promote your business, who will help you to find a club and all that kind of stuff and get people to come because they have a Rolodex. They can just send a text message and people are going to come and people are going to run in.
Most definitely.
So, how do you, as a regular person, understand this business?
Um, me and my boy was just asking him. My boy Davey asked me some tough questions. But I think as a regular person, first you always want to ask yourself, um, if you want to get into this business to understand the business from a media, entertainment, and so forth, you really want to be honest to yourself and just be transparent to yourself. Like you said, what is your goal that you want to achieve? Do you want to achieve from a financial standpoint, which is not wrong with that? I know some individuals that they just want to get into whatever industry that it is solely from a profit, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know some individuals that want to get into the industry from a attention standpoint. They love the attention. It's like a drug to them, and there's nothing wrong with that too. And then you have individuals who want to get into the industry, whatever industry that you're in, to be of aid to their community and to solve a problem. Those individuals, for the most part, they tend to have longevity because whenever you're solving a problem, it brings solution to everyone. And then what then happens is it trickles down to other people where when it's time for you to ask for a hint for a helping hand or assistance, those individuals will go above and beyond because you was more so focusing on uh, bringing value and not more so asking for value from them. And then the money will come down the road because you're going to learn from your mistakes. You're going to learn, ways to work hard and not smart. And that's how the profit going to come long term.
So you there are some of us who, I would say there are some of us, there are people out there who, once they hear about an event, they think it's all about turn up.
Yeah,
They're just, I mean, once you say, okay, let's go, okay, we're gonna have a good time.
yeah.
And so, how do you guys differentiate, or how do you guys create different events that are still gonna draw people, even though we're not probably not gonna turn up, maybe we're just gonna sit there and have a conversation or do different things.
So one of the coolest thing about what we do at DC Now events, a lot of people think we are a event based,
Yeah.
right? And I always tell people, even though we don't do event, we're the heartbeat, we're the soul, and we're the number one trusted platform in the entire DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Where you know that if you land on us on our platform, DC Now can reassure that we vetted all the different events that we've advertised on our platform,
Mhm.
and we make sure that these events um, is tailored to your ideal social interest. So, for instance, if you land on our platform right now at DC Now Events, you'll see that we have what is called Now Colors. Now Colors was a color coded template that we had launched in 2020 of COVID 19. And what we basically wanted to do, we wanted to create our own version of our on page SEO, search engine optimization, for individuals who may not be familiar with the terminology. But our own version of on page SEO, it was mainly focusing on when you land on our platform. Yeah, you can see the hundreds of events that we bring awareness to when we advertise. But let's make it even much easier, aside from us just finding these events for you. We're going to make it easy where you can identify your ideal event based upon the color coded template. So if you're looking for something for a family, you'll see the templates in blue. If you're looking for something for couples, you'll see the templates in red. If you're looking for something to do with your friends, you'll see the templates in gray. If you're looking for something to do from a single standpoint, you'll see that color template is in black. If you're looking for something to do from a family standpoint, you'll see that color template is in blue. So not only are we finding the events where you saving you time, we're even saving the time for you to be able for you to know that the ideal audience that may be at that event falls in the color template that you can search for
Wow.
just by looking at the color. You don't have to read the text as much.
Wow. Oh, that's some real heavy and smart stuff. Because we just post.
Mhm.
We just make flyers and post.
Most definitely.
And so I think the fact that you are educating us on the I would look at it as the just the knowledge that you're giving us right now, how you even just the way how you talk about vetting your the people that come that want to advertise on your platform, or you also giving us different color codes so that we can see and understand exactly where am I going to go when I go to this event. These are the kind of people I'm going to interact with. This is what's going to happen. And so when people are coming to you,
Mhm.
how are you able to? I know you say you do vet them, but I'm going to ask such a controversial question. Do you give first preference to Black or African Americans?
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Be because at the end of the day, the foundation has already been built in the early stage when DC Now was started in
Okay.
2016, which was I started to hit the ground from the bootstrap point.
Hmm.
It's one thing to post a flyer, but people can connect with you when they can identify themselves and put themselves in that specific location where they can see other people that look like them.
Hmm.
So I did that for 2 years, going to every different events that I thought would make sense when I was promoting on my personal page. We created all the social media platforms at the time, but I didn't let people know about DC9 events until we hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, until we hit 1,000 plus page likes on Facebook, and so forth. So within that 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years, I was simply finding events and posting on my personal Instagram page, and I kept showing how it looked. So by the time we hit 1,000 followers, specifically on Instagram, and we had opened it up, the percentage of conversion that people went from my page to DC9 page, it was probably like 3 to 4%, which is what I wanted. Because to convert 100% of your followers from your personal to your business page does not make no sense. You're not going to see a return.
Mm-mm.
So within those 2 years, the foundation of bringing awareness to our Black audience, both from my personal and the DC Now, as we grew it to 1,000, has already been there. And so when we find these events and we vet these events with all the things that was learned over those 2 years time period, regardless if you're white, Asian, LGBT, whoever. An event is an event. But
Mm.
few things that we'll focus on: the quality of the flyer design. What does that design look like? If we feel like the design has low quality, we'll provide you a few options where we'll provide you some sources or outlets which you can go to and revise your flyer,
Wow.
or we'll give you some tips on how to. Because at the end of the day, your flyer that you create, whatever industry you're in, is equivalent to your elevator pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And if that quality does not look good, we will have to either dismiss it or give you some option. If you choose to not take our insight, regardless if you're paying us $1,000 or $1,000,000, we'll have to respectfully decline. Because
Wow.
if that design don't look good, it brings down the aesthetics of your platform. So that's why we have these policies in place. And we took the concept from Instagram and Facebook. If your flyer design or video design don't look right, Facebook will reject your ad.
Mm-hmm.
So all we did was just study the big dogs and we apply it. So I always tell people, don't work smart, work hard. See what your competition is doing that's big and well known, and just copy their same stuff, but then tweak it to your vision and core values.
So, we have this thing. I would say, you are of Liberian descent. And
I was
so,
born in Liberia.
born in Liberia. There
Yeah,
you go.
Cameroon,
Okay,
I was
so
five.
came out when you were 5. So, even make my question real easy.
Okay.
We have this thing in our Liberian culture
Okay.
where we expect discounts.
Okay.
We expect, but I know the boy.
Okay.
Why did the boy come and give me a hard time
Okay.
to not put my thing on his Instagram page? I come and call him out.
That's
So explain to me how you've been able to deal with that, because that's something I'm still dealing with.
Well, that goes back to what I stated previously.
Mhm.
Whatever it is that you start in life that you want to achieve, rather if it's from a blue collar
Mhm.
or entrepreneur standpoint, ask yourself what it is that you want to achieve. If it's specifically financial, then when somebody called you to ask for a discount, you might have some passive aggressive attitude towards them because you're really
Mhm.
not doing it to create value and to give that.
Mhm.
Or you may be like, no, or you may be like, blah, blah, blah. If you are creating it from a from an attention standpoint, you're going to be more inclined to say yes. But the problem is you haven't figured out how to monetize that. So you're taking more of the loss, but they're gaining. If you're doing it from a value standpoint, where you want to give back to people, but you're solving a problem, you're going to figure out various ways to create a mutually beneficial opportunity. So this is where the bartering system come to play, or figuring out ways where, okay, I will give you a one post for free on our LinkedIn, but if you want Instagram, it'll be this. Or I'll give you one post for free on IG, but if you come back, it'll be this. Or what I can do instead of our for 6 posts on our Instagram is $80 for 6 posts. So what I can do, I can give you a special for this week only, 4 posts for $50. So you just have to know how to play around with the numbers, but still meet that person halfway if they want something free or if you want to figure out how to make it. So that's why I said previously, you have to ask yourself what it is and why you creating whatever it is you want to create. If it's from a financial, it's going to limit the creative ways you want to approach things. If it's from attention, it's going to exploit how people can take advantage of you. And
Mhm.
if you're trying to solve a problem and you're trying to bring value and create value, you're going to figure out various ways to help people, but also help yourself.
So you touch a little bit about quality control, and I want to bring that back in. And so we have a lot of events that happen here in DMV area. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, every weekend there's something going on. But because I know you and because I know what you guys have on your page, I go there. I'm like, okay, what's going on this weekend? And I go on your page. And so there are some events that go on within our area that is not on your page.
Okay.
And so I want to ask you, is it that your quality, have you ever had people who've come, and let's just be honest, and want to have, they're having a great event and you say no, but then you hear that this event was popping.
Great can be subjective.
Don't do
You
that
see,
to me. You know
no,
what
but
I mean.
if you put 100
Like a
people,
banging event.
again, banging great, all of that can be subjective.
Okay,
You
I would take it. I would take it.
you could put 10 people in the room right now and ask them, do you think your event was great that
They
you
will
had?
say, "We
They'll
ain't
say
talking about
yes.
the people. We're talking about
Right.
people went to that event. They were lit. You heard
Right.
you heard the feedback.
So is few things that I focus. I always put myself, because we have a team that also vet out some of these events.
Okay.
I always put myself in the consumer shoes. From Because when it comes to going out, there's generally five categories, 5 to 6 categories the everyday person search for when they're looking for something to do, from a subconscious or a conscious. They're looking for something that's free,
Mm-hmm.
something from a cost friendly, something for family, friends, something from a single standpoint, or even something from a date night. So generally speaking, those are the 5 to 6 categories that we all search for, rather
Yeah.
if it's from a domestic or in international.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so uh, we try to put ourselves in the consumer's shoes, and we look at a few things. Like, again, it goes back to the design of that flyer. It goes back to the verbiage of that flyer. It goes back to the how active is this person on their platform.
Okay.
Even they may not have a lot of followers. Just because you don't have a lot of followers, that doesn't mean your event's not going to be popping.
Mm.
So there's a lot of components. Sometimes some events may slip through the cracks, but we try to narrow it down and we do a deep, hard search where it's inclusive to everyone. So a party may be popping to you, but is
Mm.
it inclusive to everyone? Because as of today, we make up 6.2% of the entire Washington D.C. population that use DC9 events or that know about DC9 events. I'm not sure if you all are familiar with how many people live in DC, but it's 689,000 people. And as of today, 42,000 plus people use DC9 events across all board, both online and offline.
So you see, this is what happens, people. Let me just, I'm gonna cut him off right here. This is how you know people know what they're doing when they start giving you stats and you have no idea what he's talking about. So I don't know these numbers. I ain't doing none about these numbers. So he giving me stats. I'm like, ooh, wow. Yes. So you know that he did his stuff, and this is what we're talking about. And that's what this entire season of the conversation is all about. We are having conversations with people who are SMEs, they're subject matter experts of what they do. We have a gentleman over here who literally has created a platform for you to advertise your event, whatever event that you're doing. And he's not only giving you an opportunity to advertise, but he's also going to give you pointers. So I think if you aren't following DC Now events, you need to go there on Instagram for the promoters and everybody out there who do want to, you're having your event and stuff like that. Reach out to them. Try to consult him. Let him help you with how you can get your platform to the rate that you wanted to get to. And he talk about the kind of colors you're supposed to have and all that good stuff. But Mr. Cephas, I want to
I'm
ask
gonna
you.
catch a heat stroke in this
I told you
jacket.
this
Whew.
studio is hot,
I
but
feel like I'm in Liberia right
you
now.
sure
I
is.
throw some palm oil on my head.
Will waste water on you. You will wake up.
Right, right.
But so I want us to go. I know you did events back in the day. DC Now is now all about events. You guys don't do events. You guys advertise events.
Correct.
But you do have expertise in doing events.
Yeah.
You've done it before, and I believe if people come to you, you can probably say, "Sir, no, I ain't working with that person," because you've been in the industry. You know the kind of people to work with. You know the kind of people you can work with.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you: there are people. There was an event that happened the other day. I just want to see what you say. And I think some promoters brought the Buga guy, whatever his name is. I
Oh,
think that's yeah,
the Asaki.
whatever that
Yeah.
person. I even know.
Okay.
But there's somebody who went to that event, and the next day the person coming and was so upset. This gentleman was supposed to be he's supposed to be there like maybe let's say 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Homeboy don't show up until maybe 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
He gets on the stage for 25 minutes and that's it.
Okay.
He leaves. So for you, is that a promoter responsibility or is it an artist responsibility?
It's the promoter responsibility, because at the end of the day, the artist is just being booked for he or she to come to the establishment.
Okay.
The logistics falls 100% on the individual or the company who
Mhm.
is the the logistics fall 100% into the artist or the company who is booking that artist for he or she to come to perform. Now, what happens when the artists come? The artists don't have no control. Now, the responsibility on the artist end is their management or their team to vet out the people that contact them. So that's the only responsibility that an artist has when it comes to them performing at a show. They
Okay.
have to vet out who's contacting them because not all money is good money. And
Mm-hmm.
with this force situation, unfortunately, it seemed like there was a lot of logistical issues that was not structured prior. So uh,
Because
things happen. Whoever put the event together, I would just tell them is a lesson learned. Don't feel too bad. Don't beat yourself up, and don't take it personal. Just learn from that mistakes and just move forward for the artist. I would say for their team to just um, fine tune their vetting process a tad bit more, and both sides should just charge things to the game and just move forward.
but I will ask you, is that the point where you say we gave some sort of compensation to the people who were coming
There
to the concert?
there's multiple ways uh to rectify things.
Okay.
One way could be from a compensation standpoint, and people gotta understand it takes a lot of hard work and it takes a lot of capital to put these things
Mm-hmm.
in place, regardless if it goes good or bad. So I don't think reimbursement sometimes should be the first thing on your list. You can figure out ways where you can say, okay, we're not going to do a refund. However, for the next show, we're going to make a makeup day, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
makeup day can be at like a Fillmore or a more ideal establishment. We'll say anybody who purchased their ticket, um, um, they're they're good. They're free
Okay.
to a certain time. So if doors open up at 7 p.m., you're free till 9 p.m. You
Okay.
see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Though those who purchase their VIP seats, they're free all night. You
Okay.
see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so
So
so so
you.
there's ways to play around with the um, numbers.
Mhm.
And if you have certain people who are adamant about a refund, then out of respect, you'll refund
Refund.
your stuff.
Yeah, and so I think, and that's like the everybody will focus on the promoter, and I think what I've seen for me who just we decided to use to come to our events that we used to do for PAP.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we would do those little things, and we none of us were promoters.
Yeah.
So I would tell you, we started off with a promoter.
Okay.
The first day of the event, we almost threw the promoter from counties upstairs, downstairs on the main street.
Oh wow.
The first day.
Okay.
Because we get a promoter who tells us, our plan was we didn't want for people to pay to come in.
Okay.
Our idea was people don't need to pay to come in, but they will buy liquor.
Correct.
That's what Africans do. We're not going to come to a bar and not buy liquor. We buy liquor.
Right.
So the thing is, we don't want our people to come and pay. Let them come in, and then they will buy liquor. We contract. Everything worked out. It was great. Why would come that day, someone sitting at the door collecting money? And he was really adamant about it. He said he's trying to
Was
collect
it the
his
person
money.
that y'all spoke with?
Yeah. And a couple of people tried to just lift him up and throw him over the banister. Literally. And I was like, okay, this life is not for me. This is when I can't afford to lose everything. But that was one of my experiences with promoters. And I was really upset because I'm just like, okay, yeah, I understand you want to make money. And that's one thing I say, I think, and that's what after that, when we started to meet with other people, it was straight up plain, blank, and blank. We are not here to make money. Our idea of what we're doing is to bring Liberians together within the DMV area and share ideas. Like it was more like a mixer. You come, like you. That's how I met you. That's
Yeah.
how I met a lot of people from just coming in there and doing stuff like that. So they will buy liquor. Trust me.
Right.
They will drink. Like nobody gonna come into a bar and say, except the person don't drink. And when we start going to other places, they start seeing our value. People start calling us and say, like up to today, people are still calling us, are you guys gonna do this again? We're like, no, we old. You got people don't have kids, people don't get married. It's just a whole different kind of life. But as someone from he said he work in the nightlife, so I'm gonna say it. Someone from the nightlife. Moving now into
I see the comments are popping.
yeah, come. Oh yeah, so let's do this. You see, that's why I like. So let's do this. So we have Courtney, They're saying hey, Reverend, they're saying hey, Courtney saying hey. You have so we're gonna shout out to Courtney, Courtney W, Leah Lofton. Who else? We got MC Wale Y. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yeah.
And then we have Petra and the Black Math Academy.
Yeah.
He said, "What's up? Why you got alone in Black Math
I
Academy?"
told a lot of people to tune in.
Good, but guys, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. We're gonna take a quick break because we gotta make some money. Without some money, we can't do this. So we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna be right.
Believes in creating your own style with your accessories. Our collection of Afrocentric and Eurocentric accessories allows you to do just that. Our beaded collection features the Maasai beads of East Africa, the rich patterns and vibrant colors of the African wax print fabric, gives you options from clutches to hats. We understand the assignment when it comes to accessorizing.
And we're back. So, for those who just joining us, this is the Conversation Outspoken Opinionated. I am your host, Edwin Meyer. We have Nels Cephas here in the building with us. He is the founder, the chief innovative officer, the marketer, the innovator of DC Now events. He has given us so many pointers. But now I want us to move into this more of a relaxed conversation when it comes to events. And I want to ask you, being someone who you've been in a nightlife industry. Now you're moving to a state where I will say you the executive branch of events now,
You
where you just sit back and relax and people come to.
you are like Brandon African for real.
I am. That's what we do. We just gave people titles.
Every African they put so much
Would
emphasis
that throw that?
and whatever it say.
Yeah, he is the chief executive, the influencer of the nightlife. That's how I'm gonna say.
You meet an African, you like, how was your day? My day was
My
good.
day
You
was
like,
good.
damn, I
It
just
was
told myself I didn't know it was
excellent.
this good.
And so you say hi, they say, what was that? What when they say, blessed and highly favored. I'm like,
Right.
seriously, can you
You
just
gotta
say
be
hello?
like well your whole life.
You can just say hello. But anyway, this is, I want to ask you, so you don't mess my tune of thought. But anyway, you move into, you're not, I won't say, you still go to events.
Yeah.
And so for events that have been advertised on your platform, and then you go to that event, have you ever been disappointed and be like, damn, why did we advertise that person?
No, I think when it comes to people doing their events, there's I wouldn't look at it as a disappointment.
Mhm.
I would look at it more so when we go to these events and it may not be um ideal to our personal liking.
Okay.
We'll figure out we'll look at the event and then moving forward we'll know that okay this may not be the type of event we might want to consistently bring awareness to on our platform. But I wouldn't say disappointment. I would say more so because sometimes disappointment can be a good thing because you can learn from that.
Yeah.
So I always tell people rather if you do something that don't succeed or succeed, or if it don't succeed, don't look at it as something that to bring you down to make you have any self doubt. Just look at it from okay, um, what are some areas that I could improve on, and when you see it from that standpoint, it will improve your vision long term. And then when you cross path with other people, you want to do business with people, it will strengthen up your empathy even more because you've been in that boat before.
So tell me about the biggest superstar that you've met doing this.
Oh man.
And you were like, damn, I don't arrive.
Before DC Now or when DC Now?
Complete the entire process before now.
When I was in a nightclub business, when I was in a nightlife business, I met Tiara Marie. I wasn't starstruck. I was more so just trying to holler at her, and I went smack. If it wasn't for some people on her team who was kind of like blocking on my game, I would have poured off the break. So, Tiara Marie, if you hear me, you know, yeah.
Now
You know
what?
what's up.
That is the confidence for me. It's the entire confidence for me. That's what it is right now.
She know what's up because I had her smiling. She was showing all her coming to America smile, and she not even from Africa.
Yes, this is what happens. Okay. So anybody else, not
Mm,
with DC Now events, have you met anybody you were like, wow, this is amazing. Like this is why I'm doing this.
um,
He won't make me go to his Instagram. That's what I'm gonna do.
I haven't really been starstruck because a lot of times
Mhm.
when I'm in those environments, um, I'm so business focused. I'm more so paying attention to,
Mm.
wow, I made it where I'm seeing other people having a good time. Other people stress is taken away. You know what I'm saying? So I'm more so focusing on like, um, yes, I've made it because a problem has been solved.
So, as an entrepreneur and as an individual, what drives you?
What drives me is being able to provide solutions in areas where you may have a long work week, and our platform can be that go-to platform that can reassure you that everything is going to be okay.
Mm.
You may have kids, and your kids could be wanting to do something. You might have a hard time trying to figure out what to do with your kids. Our platform can be that solution to putting a smile on your kid's face. You may have a significant other who you want to show him or her a good time,
Mm-hmm.
and our platform can be that platform where, wow, I didn't know this event was happening in our backyard. Shh, my significant other don't have to know that I found it from DC now. Now he or she will be surprised, or it could be celebration where you just accomplish or achieve something in life and you want to go and celebrate. You know, DC Now Events platform is the platform where they can find you the ideal celebration to bring light to your journey or your future endeavors.
So, since we're at this crossroad, let's talk about the future of DC Now
Mhm.
events. What does the future look like?
The future look like us continuously to solve problem. For instance, a few years ago, it was an individual that just moved to the DMV. They've been living out here for a year or two, and they was giving up on like feeling at home away from home. So they stumbled across our platform. One thing led to another. They went to an event that they saw on our platform, and now they found the love of their life. They got married. They actually invited us, but I didn't have the time to attend.
Oh wow.
So there's so many. We have thousands of testimonial stories that we share here and there,
Mhm.
but things like that continuously to solve problems, continuously to bring value to the community, and these are the same structure and formula that we're going to apply next year when we launch Philly Now events. Um, we're going to
Oh.
be launching our ride share company coming up next year. We're going to be
Oh.
opening up a smart restaurant and lounge in by 2025. So yeah, it's a lot of
Okay,
different moving
okay.
parts that we're going to
He
be doing.
said those things real quick and real soft, and he put no emphasis on it. So can we DC? We said Philly Now events,
Mhm.
ride share,
Going to be launching a ride share company the fall of next year.
and then you talk about cafe or something. Did
We're
I
going to be
hear that?
launching a smart restaurant and lounge. So we're going to
Can
have
you
a lot
explain
of
that? What you mean
so a smart
smart?
restaurant and lounge is going to have many components ranging from the metaverse experience,
Oh my lord!
Snapchat experience where you can feel if you because going out to eat is a luxury. It's not something that people have to do.
No, it's a
But
lot of money.
right,
I gotta think about parking.
right. So that's why it falls into the luxury category. So for those who understand that, or they, like you said, it's a lot of money, this and that,
Mm.
we can bring that experience to you while you're in the comfort of your home from a metaverse or a smart experience.
Okay, hold on. So when you so this is my ignorance. When you said metaverse, I am thinking that I'm going to be sitting at home and probably have one of those Oculus or whatever on my face, and I'm eating in the metaverse, but I'm really not eating. Is that what it's going to be?
Well, you can place your order in the metaverse as well.
And would the
So
food be
so for example,
physically in my house?
one of the key things that's going to be very unique of our smart restaurant and lounge, we're going to bring that nostalgic childhood experience back. So when you was 5, 6, 7 years old,
I was in like
we
running from gun.
but regardless, when you was not at that time, we have one of the best imaginations in the world, where we could have a toy, an army toy, and we can imagine as if we're in the battlefield.
Yeah.
So bring that experience and that thought process into the metaverse world, regardless of what age you are,
Mhm.
you're going to bring it's going to recreate that child moment
I
experience.
agree. So that is the metaverse, so the cafe, the lounge, and everything. So when you say rideshare, we're talking about something like Lyft, Uber.
No, so when it came to COVID-19,
Hmm.
a good amount of family, parents, they've been apprehensive about having their kids go on the school bus.
Hmm.
A matter of fact, in 2021, around like the springtime, no, around 2021, late 2020 going to 2021, they had to bring the National Guards out in Montgomery County
Hmm.
because there was a shortage on bus drivers. So just seeing that, we was like, how about we solve a problem where parents can be reassured that our rideshare company can save them time, but also the education system can have a reliable organization company that can be the liaison if there's no bus drivers where we could come into play.
Oh, that's beautiful. So, but I'm gonna take you now. We're gonna. I can't have a Liberian born Liberian person here, and we don't talk about Liberia.
Okay,
So we got DC now. We got Philly. We're talking about Philly now events. What happened to Liberia now events?
it's gonna come. A lot of these things gonna come into play, but you
Well, we
wanna
need to talk about that.
Well, one thing I say, anything you do, anybody, and I tell some of our team members who have businesses of their own outside the company,
Mm.
master one thing first and transition to the next. So we're trying to master this area. We just mastered.
He
We
is.
just
He
mastered
is
the
going to run
pandemic.
for office, people. He is such a politician.
No, I mean I'm serious.
Toya is the CEO. This he got the whole CEO talk right down.
we just mastered
Hmm.
the pandemic pivot inside of the company that we would have
Hmm.
never learned if pandemic never came into play. So just from that, it taught me to pace yourself, don't rush, even if it may people work at a job for 20 years, but they start a business, they want to become a millionaire in 24 hours. It don't work like that. It may take
Hmm.
10 years, it may
True.
take 15, but just have that faith, have that focus, be disciplined because discipline creates structure,
Yep.
and just know that everything is going to be okay. Learn from your mistakes, and to piggyback what you said, all of these things is going to strengthen us. So when we do launch the Liberian and West African events, you're going to get the best of the best of all the
We
things that we
should.
made.
We should. Because I want to just ask you, do these people tap into you? Because we know people who
So
are we know
99% of people don't
Liberian.
even know I own DC now. They don't know I'm behind it, and that's good, because I want people to trust them.
No, I think because for me, I think it's the first time I met you because I'm strategic in questions like that. I asked her, "What do you do?"
Well, those who's supposed to know would know.
Well, no,
That's all
because
that
I
is.
think so. We go
and
to events. We go to like.
and I'm not really into like I'm not a talkative
No,
person.
you're not. I was. That's why I was
I
like,
like being
I
low
don't care.
key.
I'm still gonna get him
Yeah,
on
I
the
like being
platform.
low key. I like being behind the scene. If I respect you and then I value you, and I see the vision what you're trying to create, you're gonna get my 100% support, regardless if it's big or small. But I want people to know that I can get hit by a bus, die today, die tomorrow.
Hey,
I
Lord
want people to
Jesus.
trust and be tapped in with the platform and not me.
Okay, so now before we get out of here,
Yeah,
we have the future of DC now.
yeah.
DC now events. You basically trying to branch off to go to other states. There's so many other things that's going to come up. Let's talk about you as an individual.
Okay.
What's in the future for you? DC now
Um,
talking about going on dates and shit.
the future of me is just to focus on various ways to continue not just solve a problem for the community, but
Mhm.
for myself, figuring out different ways how to improve my mental health, my sanity, staying healthy, working on traveling more. I don't travel. Those who know me, my homeboy know me, I don't travel. So that's something I want to start
We gotta
working
pray
on
for
more.
you.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta get in
definitely.
that
I'll
plane.
be so busy.
No, you're not busy.
Um,
Something's going on.
no, really, I'd be very busy, but
What? You gotta take
yeah,
a
so
vacation, sir.
I know that's what I'm working on this year.
Okay.
But yeah, that's basically it, man. Just staying improving on being disciplined. I think that can be the downfall of us men. Our discipline.
Mhm.
We reach one success or one avenue where we has a perception of success and we get comfortable. So just understanding that I don't want to get comfortable in any areas, but I still want to be able to take care of myself and enjoy the fruits of my labor.
Exactly. So how can people get in contact with DC Now events?
On all our social media platform, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, um, DC Now Events. That's DCNOWEVNTS. To inquire about any type of advertising on our platform, you can email our sales team, sales at DC Now Events. For general inquiries, info at DC Now Events. For partnership, brand partnership, you can email partnership at DC Now Events. For community sponsorship from us, you can email our community team, community at DC9 Events. For interviews, you can email our strategic publicist, Miss Deja Scott, Deja at DC9 Events. And yeah, um, that's
Well, it's been great, but I'm gonna tell you, so somebody just pull you out, literally pull your whole life out.
Ooh.
So the Black Math Academy said Nels wants at least 4 children,
Yeah, shout out to
a
my
wife,
homeboy Neil, CEO founder of
picket
Black Math
fence,
County.
and he said a mill in the bank, $1 million in the bank, and a summer home in Liberia.
Okay.
So that's what we're working on. He said
Okay.
that's what you want, and he's super excited, seeing your childhood friend achieve so much, and that's so true. And I
Okay.
think that is why I think when I was asked earlier, why do we do this or why am I doing this, and it's the fact that there is so much talent in this area.
Yeah,
People underestimate the DMV.
almost definitely. Most definitely.
The talent, the expertise, the subject matter experts that's in this area. Literally, we have everything in this area.
Yeah.
We have everything in this area. And I think a lot of time we underestimate what we have. And the fact that, like, I'm not, I know I'm African, so I'm going to put power inside. But the fact that, just knowing you and seeing what you do, and you do it with such humility, like you are one of the chillest dude I've ever met. You're relaxed, you're chill, there ain't no problem. You used to come to Pal event, you're chill, you relax, you do your thing, you go. Zero. And then when you say we're doing DC Now events, when then I start to research, and I was like, this sports show is Liberian. I said, because Liberian people, they have blue now on. By the time they walk in the building, everybody will know what they have. And I think that is the uniqueness about you. It's like you said earlier, you like to work from the back of the scene, you have a vision, you want people to have an experience. And I think going to your events, I've gone to like two or three events that I saw from your platform, and I went to it, had a great time, enjoyed it, and I was just like, oh, cool, great. But for me, it was an experience where it's just like I didn't know nobody there. I just saw you on the platform. I was like, oh, that would be nice, and I went, and I had a good time.
Right.
And I think that's awareness for a lot of us that live here in this area, because this is an area where people just move into, they have no idea, they know nobody, they have no friends and stuff like that. So I think this is really, really good. But just for your last question, just before you go, for a young boy or a young girl who's sitting there and have a dream,
Mhm.
what can you tell them?
Never compromise your integrity for a check,
Mm,
and always do something because you're passionate about it. The money's going to come. Um, your passion is the passion and your mistakes that you're going to make is going to develop you to create structures and system as you go on, which will assist with profit coming in. To piggyback off of what he said about him attending an event that he found on our platform, that was one of the main focus of DC9 events, where we can make native feel like a tourist in their backyard. So a lot of the events that we find and advertise is not just for you to discover and attend it, is for you to know that wow, these events are taking place in my backyard, and if I were to attend it, I can feel like a tourist at home, or a tourist who can feel at home away from home. So some people may not have the finance to travel to where they want to travel to. DC9 Events is that platform that can help you to save on your finance, to save the money to travel to where you really want. But also the different events that we find that you may not know about in your backyard, you can still attend it and feel like a tourist at home away from home.
thank you. So, of course, this was the conversation outspoken and opinionated. I am and was your host, Edwin Meyer. We had Mr. Nels Cephas with us. DC Now events, not DC events, DC Now events. I made a mistake earlier today. It's DC Now events on every platform. You can reach out to them and you can inquire. You can get everything that you need. People jump on this. Let's support our Black excellence that we have. Let's support our brother. For those who are promoters who need assistance with events, reach out to the team. See how they can assist you. But again, until next week, Thursday, I see you next week. Go if you haven't seen from last week, people were asking for the part two will be uploaded from last week episode. Part two will be uploaded. But again, until I see you next week, you go guys have a great Thursday. Have a good weekend. Don't drink too much, but go on DC Now events and find an event that you can go to this weekend. Until then,